You're listening to the Beer Craft Beer and Brewing Podcast. Tune in every Wednesday night at 6:30 Pacific for a dose of beer and brewing banter with your hosts, Ben Holm and Andrew Ziegler.
So hop aboard for some wit and wisdom in the Pacific Northwest, because it's always beer 30 on
The Beer Craft.
All right, we're on.
You sure about that? Little buttons make a noise. Welcome to Beer Crafting, a beer and brewing podcast. That is a working title that I have inserted so we don't get sued by Craft Beer and Brewing Magazine.
Great.
Yeah, they're afraid it's just our name is just too close to those, and they have zero faith that you are smart enough to tell the difference and might be confused. Shame on them for that. I think you guys are smarter than that. So
Of course they are.
Yeah.
They can differentiate
Fuck
between
those
us
guys.
and a Craft Magazine.
Yeah. So this is, that is the first installment of a long list of experimental names that we're going to try out before we make a name change.
And you know what? I'm going to be really bummed if I can't come in and say, hey, hop aboard.
Yeah, we're going to have to make sure that you can still say that.
Yeah,
otherwise we'll have to re-record that too.
Yeah.
Goddamn, make them work for us.
We should probably get a new intro for the season 2.
We will. I'm sure. That's a very good idea.
There.
This is season 2 already. So second episode then of season 2, and we're gonna do something tonight we've never done on the air. I've got a couple of new beer kits that I need to make for Northwest Brewers Supply. And I think we're going to try to put together at least the first draft on a couple of them today.
Okay, so now you're telling me that you're now outsourcing your workload of Northwest Brewers Supply to the podcast?
Yeah, a bit. I mean, hey, if this is the kind of content that works out, we might do a live segment, do a little crowdsourcing even for some ideas from the audience. That might be kind of cool.
Then we can get like a raffle, not a raffle, but one of those spinny.
Oh, like a bingo barrel thing?
Like a bingo barrel, and have everybody put something in. And then we'll just
like roll for beer
out.
kind of thing. Yeah.
That might be fun.
Yeah, we'll do something. All
right. Well, we should have a little bit of inspiration before we start designing these beers, Ben.
Man, it's like you're inside my head already.
I know. You know why?
Yeah, because it's time.
You know what time it is?
I do. I do know what time it is. It's beer 30. Beer 30. Oh man, and we have got some. Insert sound effect here. We've got some.
Beautiful.
Pilsner was on my list. God damn,
Now you spilled.
But I only spilled a dribble. I knocked the can over.
But we didn't even get mine on here. We didn't get my
your wet move. Yeah. Spill. So you're spilling on your shirt, and I'm spilling on the table a little bit. It's getting moist in here.
Yeah. So we're drinking a Bitburger Premium Pils.
Yeah, I thought I got a Pilsner I want to put on my menu, and I don't. I need to brew one. I think they're fantastic fucking beers.
Very good. I love them.
Yeah. And this one, Bitburger, we were pouring it out, and we did notice the color of this beer matches the gold on there.
The gold can.
The can, which is, bravo
Perfect,
for the marketing.
Perfect marketing.
Yeah.
Yep. And now I'm reading the can, and it says it's got the Mitt Hallertau. Hallertauer.
Mittelfra hops. Yeah.
Hallertauer.
Remember, Hallertauer is the region that it's grown in.
Yep.
Not the species. Yeah.
So, and Mittelfra is the most common of them?
For sure. In fact, like if you're perusing the interwebs for a recipe and it just says Hallertauer hops,
it's probably Mittelfra.
Probably. Yeah. You can almost guarantee it.
If I'm in a homebrew shop somewhere, am I going to see the Mitt Hallertauer or the other?
I know in my shelves I've got Hallertauer Mittelfra labeled, and then I've got Hallertauer Blanc labeled. But Magnum is a Hallertauer, but I just say Magnum because that is how most people ask for it. It's just like, it's a Magnum.
I like Magnum.
Magnum's pretty cool. Yeah. Magnum it's a nice high alpha, noble varietal. It can pack a punch, so you don't have to. There's, if you want 35, 45 IBUs in a Pilsner like I do. Trying to get that with Saaz or Hallertauer, you're going to be like 6 ounces. You're like $12 in fucking hops just to get bittering, and you want to have it, that's kind of so. I tend towards like Magnum or Pearl. Liberty, we used to carry that one. It's kind of like another mid-range alpha. Because Saws will come in at like, I've had Saws and Tet come in like 1.2% alfalfa. Way low.
That's really
Try to
low.
bitter with that. Like you're going to be at it all day. How much
I got
hops
a
did you
pound
put
in there.
It's a pound, but it's only 12 IBUs. I know. It's expensive IBUs. Every friggin' single one of them.
It's just popping out of the.
Yeah. I
boil
mean, the
kettle.
fucking beer's green. It costs $100, and it doesn't have any hops in it.
Right.
I mean, it's got all the hops, but none of them are there.
But none of the benefits.
That's kind of depressing. So I tend towards some of those higher alpha.
Magnum is a good
varieties,
choice for that.
It is. For those of you who don't like Pilsner, this is not. This may look like your macro lager, but boy, it is a far cry. It is about 10 miles away.
Can taste.
Yeah.
Aroma.
So blonde, yes. Clean fermenting, bottom fermenting lager
Beautiful.
yeast, yes.
Looks good.
But the hop profile on these is assertive. 25 to 35 range. That puts you into like English pale ale categories.
Yep.
This is a decidedly bitter beer. I don't know if Bitburger, do they list the IBUs on this guy?
I don't think so.
I can't read in the dark. It's a thing. Something about women shouldn't drink. Okay, when they're pregnant. That makes sense. That doesn't tell us anything about IBUs though. That's a good beer. That is decided. It has a sharp bitterness, but it's not. It doesn't last on my mouth. Like it's hello and gets
goodbye.
and yields quickly to this like soft malt character, like very round malty, easy light drinking. Shit, it gets right off your tongue when you're done.
Now the interwebs said it was 33 IBU.
33. That's that's
Right
right
in
up
that
there.
range.
Like Cascade, like the Sierra Nevada is like 35 IBUs. So
Yeah.
and it's and it's got more like crystal malt and
Right.
more body and
Right,
mouthfeel
so it has to
than this
balance
too,
out with
so.
the extra sugars, where this is going to have a basic malt bill.
Yeah.
So you don't need as much hops to make it bitter.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine this is most likely a 100% Pilsner malt.
Yep.
The lightest Pilsner malt.
Yep.
And that's at 100% of
That's
the
it,
grain
yep.
bill. Yeah.
And then you're going to have probably I wonder how much Hallertauer they had to use to get this bittering.
Yeah, that's
Probably
it,
a
yeah.
bit. Probably a bit.
Depending.
And then
So-
there's no hop aroma to it, and I really don't want maybe a little bit of the Pils aroma.
I've had
yeast.
Pilsners with some hop aroma, some like late addition, just
Yeah.
for some aromatics, especially in the those noble hops. They were we wanted those, we like those for their aroma
Right.
characteristics. So I would not be afraid. To put some late additions in this one, and we're gonna write the recipe here in a couple minutes. But before we do that, like anything new in your world going on, everybody should know about.
Nothing in my world.
That makes it easy. We're just gonna spin right on from there.
Yeah, we're just gonna
Good press day.
get by that. No.
Good story. Good story.
No, I don't know what I didn't have much going on this week.
No.
Last weekend, what did I do? Nothing. Not much.
Well, yeah, you went to Jen's birthday, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I went to Jen's birthday
Yeah,
on
Jen,
Monday.
who was in the show for the cider episode. It was like
Yep,
two
a few weeks
episodes,
ago.
3 episodes back.
Yep.
She had a birthday.
She had a birthday.
Happy
We
birthday,
went-
Jen.
We went and
you
played
guys do?
some trivia.
Trivia.
Oh yeah,
Cool.
It was fun. Had a
Was it like
couple
pop
beers.
modern trivia or like cool movie trivia?
No, it was like current events.
Yeah, I
some.
second that one.
And then there was a cider category. There was an apple category.
Oh, you got-
just for Jen.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep,
There you
yep.
go. Let's just
And
smoke that,
a couple
I'm
other
sure.
categories. There was a U.S. Navy category. I think it was the Navy's birthday, also
Nah.
on the 13th.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, that makes
Yep.
sense. Somebody will know.
Yeah.
It's not me, but
Well, other than football,
Right.
I like watching my football.
yeah, that was good.
Heck yeah! How about you?
Watch the nail biting Mariners game on Friday, the end of the ALCS
Oh,
championship round.
That
Man,
went
that
how many innings?
15 fucking innings, yeah. That had it gave me so many like 1995 vibes, like Edgar Martinez hitting a grand slam, to break a tie against the Yankees to go on to win the rest of this series in a do or die round. And I was like, right up to the 15th inning, we had the bases loaded right there. I'm like, oh my god, this is so fucking. I'm like goosebumping chills. I mean, like I'm an anxious fucking wreck at this point. I've been pacing the fucking floor for an hour. My wife's telling me to turn that shit off. It's too stressful. She can't fucking watch it unless it goes to 20 innings and turn it back on or we win. Then you can fucking clear her back in. But I'm like, I think this is it, babe. We're like inning 15. We're bases loaded. She's like, turn it back on. I'm like, okay. Super happy they won that.
Me too. Now they won their first game.
They won their first two games.
Blue Jays. Oh, they won the second one yesterday.
So, no, they won in Toronto. They've won the first two games. Came home to Seattle. They lost yesterday.
Oh, they did lose yesterday.
They lost that. They're playing. They're playing that game in an hour or so.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you guys are going to get this. Of course,
games.
This broadcast is going to be like, this is all ancient fucking history by the time you guys hear it, because it's going to be a week old.
Yep. And the Mariners will be out of it.
Yeah. Nah, shut up. Fuck you. I'm out of here. Fuck this guy. I don't need this negativity in my life.
Okay, I'll edit that out.
Check it. Yeah.
Oh, good thing it's only beer 30, dang.
Yeah, right. Well, we got more beer. So let's take a little break. We're gonna drink a little beer, and we're gonna jump right into it. We've already been talking about a Pilsner. We might as well start there.
Yeah, why not?
When we come back after these messages.
Make your own wine you will at Northwest Brewers Supply. The finest ingredients they have. Grapes, yeast, and more. Craft your dream vintage you can. Easy it is with kits and tools all in one place. The force at Northwest Brewers Supply. Strong it is. Make your wine you must.
The wine galaxy isn't so far away. Visit Northwest Brewers Supply on South Spruce Street in Burlington or online at nwbrewers.com. Celebrity voices impersonated poorly.
Beer News with Andrew, where I come and give you international stories, national stories, state, maybe even your local backyard. All right, here we go. Let's kick things off with a big shift in Washington craft beer scene. Mac and Jack's Brewing Company, yes sir, the folks behind that iconic African amber we talk about all the time and the one you love, is packing up the brewing takes and heading west. After nearly 30 years in Redmond, they're moving production to Bremerton, Washington. This move comes after Mac and Jack's was acquired in 2023 by Ackley Brands, a family-owned beverage company based in Seattle. Ackley's been quietly building a portfolio of Northwest favorites. They also own Silver City Brewing, Hogue Cellars, Columbia Winery, and Charles Smith Wines. They've even opened up a bar called The Cove at Lake Union Piers, showcasing the drinks from across their lineup. I would suggest going down. Lake Union's a beautiful place down along the piers there. It's wonderful. I'd get there. Now, Mac and Jack's will brew out of Silver City's facility in Bremerton, streamlining operations while keeping that signature African amber flowing. The Redmond Tap Room stays open through this transition so fans can still swing by there for a pint and a bit of the nostalgia. It's a bittersweet shift. Redmond loses a legacy, but Bremerton gains a brewing heavyweight. And Ackley Brands, they're shaping up to be a major player in the Pacific Northwest's beverage scene. And we all know that Mac and Jack's African Amber is still one of the most poured beers in the state. So, all right, last week we talked about National Homebrew Day, which is on November 1st, but we all need to remember that before that, we have American Beer Day. October 27th is American Beer Day, coming up in a few days. And if you're listening with a cold one in hand, you're doing it right. This unofficial holiday celebrates the wild, wonderful world of American brewing, from the big-time lagers to the tiniest garage setups. Here's a beer stat you want to know. The U.S. is home to nearly 10,000 breweries. That's everything from legacy brands like Yuengling, I think one of the first breweries in the U.S., and Budweiser, one of the biggest, to the hyper-local tap rooms that only serve within a few blocks. It's a beer ecosystem, and it's thriving. Now, this day just isn't about drinking. It's about recognizing the craft. American Beer Day traces its roots back to the home brewing movement, which got a legal green light in 1979 that opened the floodgates for creativities, and today's brewers are pushing boundaries with with flavors like jalapeno peach, smoked apple, and even glitter-infused IPAs. Yeah, glitter. I've seen it purple, and I'll let you drink that one. So it's a great excuse to revisit your favorite American-made beers, whether it's a Sierra Nevada, the classic pale ale, or something wild from a local brewery. This day's about raising a glass to ingenuity. All right, let's hop across the pond. We're going across the Pacific for this one, folks, because Japan's beer season just got hit with something you don't usually associate with lagers and gift boxes, a cyber attack. In mid-October, Asahi Breweries, one of Japan's biggest beer producers, was targeted by a cyber attack that disrupted its operations. And it didn't stop there. The ripple effect was so big that other major breweries like Suntory and Sapporo hit their pause button on their seasonal gift beer sales. Now, if you're not familiar, beer gift sets are a huge deal in Japan. They're part of a long-standing tradition where people send beautifully packaged beer boxes to friends, to family, and business partners during the fall and for the winter holidays. It's like the Hallmark Channels meets the best of the seasonal brews. But with production and the logistics systems down, brewers had to shift gears. Instead of filling those holiday bottles and prepping those gift sets, they're redirecting the beer to regular retail channels just to keep the shelves stocked. It's a wild intersection of tech vulnerability and cultural tradition, and it raises a bigger question: how to protect the centuries-old customs in a digital age. Curious, if we had a beer giving tradition tomorrow, what would you put in your six-pack sampler? That's your pour for this week, folks. Mac and Jack's heading west, American Beer Day raising a glass to craft culture, and Japan's beer traditions getting a digital shakeup. I feel like we've traveled the beer world in under 6 minutes. Not too bad for two guys with mics and a fridge full of brews. Coming up next, we're going to be having our second offering and designing more beers. Oh, the ones that you love. Until then, keep your pint full, your palate curious, and your stories flowing. Cheers.
Was sitting around the shop the other day, and we're trying to look at the marketing calendar for 2026 and what kind of specialty seasonal beer kits we should be focusing on.
Yeah.
And I took a look at my menu, and I noticed there's a few holes in it that we should have as quite possible as regular lineups rather than just a seasonal one-off kit.
Yeah, seasonal lineup.
Yeah,
okay, you're going to offer this one only at this during time.
For the seasonals, we will have I'll put together a kit for host it for 2 months, and then it goes in the vault.
Yeah.
That being said, it's the ingredients are always carried full time. You can see what those are. And,
right.
We'll sell it.
You can design your own.
It
deal,
might have the kit price. Promotional kit price versus a la carte the rest of the year. But these would be, I think, the regular lineup. We were looking at it, and there's no Pilsner on the fucking thing, which is kind of weird.
That is weird.
We've got a Helles. We've got the Oktoberfest in terms of lagers. We've got the Mountain Cream Ale, which is kind of like it's a cream ale. So it's
cream ale.
It's lager-like beer, yeah. Yep. And then we've got the James Blonde is a blonde ale, which is kind of threads the line between ales and
had that
blonde lagers. It uses American lager yeast, but so we have some holes in there. So Pilsner, obvious, why the hell wouldn't we have a Pilsner? That's
right.
We're gonna do that today. I noticed we didn't have a Bock either, and I thought that was kind of weird. And I was like, well, have I brewed a Bock? I think I have, and it's been it was a while ago. We're talking year 2.
Yeah.
So that's fucking 12 years ago or some dumb thing. It's been a while. I had to go way back to an OG notebook.
Wow.
And it wasn't great.
I don't think I ever had a Bock. I don't think I ever made one.
Never even Shiner Bock? You never
No.
Made a Bock
one,
yourself.
yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've
I don't have
consumed them.
I've never made a recipe for a Bock.
Yeah, so Bocks or Doppelbock, the bigger version. So we're gonna do something like that. I don't have an amber on there. We have the Mac and Jack African Amber.
Yeah,
everybody's got that one, but nothing like a real easy drinking amber ale. And a Belgian blonde. I think I've already got a recipe for that one, so we won't do that on the air. Some of those, yeah, some holes to round out the the top 20.
Do you have like a
beer
red?
styles.
You have like a nice,
We have
just
an Irish red ale.
not an Irish red, but
Yeah.
like English red.
And so that's kind of where the amber is gonna, I think,
Yeah.
is gonna
Fill in.
fold today. Yeah.
But it's the difference. Well, you've got a little difference between the amber and the red, with the little bit of that.
Yeah, and you got overlap into
Little
like
flavor.
ESB, any of your bitters, your pale, and remember, like historically, pale was anything that wasn't brown,
right. Yeah.
right? And that includes red. Red was not brown. So
was not-
like
so
in
it's
the
called
beginning, all
considered
beer
pale?
all beer was brown in the beginning,
Right, because the
Brown-
kilning of the
it was just brown
the
beer is what you got.
malts.
Yep. We got blonde beer before we got black beer. Oddly enough, but that's a interesting twist.
Now, where'd you hear that at?
Yeah, well, if you look at the date range, when was black patent? So the early stouts came after the coke kiln fired pale malts.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. Because they couldn't fire the midnight wheat or that.
Getting them reliably
Right.
black without being and still usable, not just like a pile of carbon.
Right.
Anybody can throw a fucking pile of carbon in your beer and it will turn black, but would you want to drink it?
No.
I mean, like, I don't know. I have had someone put their cigar butt out in my coffee or my beer,
your
and it
beer?
doesn't taste. It does not taste good. So maybe just uploading carbon into your beer is not the
Not
way
a good
to do
idea
things,
to
yeah.
get your blackness. But that makes sense. I can
Yeah.
understand
So
that.
Pilsner is it wasn't the first blonde beer that made huge waves. I mean, like the first English pale ale, the English pale ale hit the scene, and holy shit! I mean, yes, the Germans were sending people to the UK to like find out as much as they could to bring that process home. You had, these. Blonde beer just kind of like, wow, that's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
I want some of that. Everybody wanted some of this.
Nobody had seen it
Nobody'd
before.
seen it ever fucking ever. And we've been making beer since the fucking beginning. Like,
Who's
we got
the first-
10,000 years of beer history.
Who's the
here.
first maltster that kilned it so light like that and said, hey, this will still work, guys? And imagine how much he had to convince the brewers to use it. Because I'm sure the brewers were like, this isn't done. I can't use this.
I don't think it was. I think it was purpose of it was it knowing that he. So I think it was Wheeler was the guy's name who invented it. This coke fired drum roasting technology or invention, and I think he was deliberate in it. See, if we can control the temperature, we can dry the grains out, which is what we're trying to do mostly in that kilning process. We've germinated it. We've now got to stop it so that we can get it. When we get it wet again, enzymes work. Well, in the early days, all that brown beer, you had to use a lot more of those grains because the sugars had been cooked out of it, right? And you'd get the color
You'd overkill
degradation
it. Yep.
and those darker colors. You had less sugar available by weight. So I think it was a rather deliberate notion that if we can control for this, we can maximize our sugars, have a higher yield per pound of grain, or the metric equivalent of the day per gram of grain, and we could actually save some money doing that. So I think
Maybe
it was
they're
kind of
like,
rather deliberate.
Look at this.
But I think it
this
would've-
yield on this batch came out a lot better than the last batch.
And I think as soon as you start throwing like
then-
yielding
yep.
numbers
And
and
now
how
you're
much,
like,
because you're taxed on your grain purchasing at the time,
Right,
like,
right.
oh yeah, everybody they would have jumped on board, like they'd have been all over that, like stink on shit,
Right.
And so that was, was definitely a cool thing, and the Germans wanted to get into the French and the Belgians, and everybody wanted in on the blonde beer. Well, the Pilsner though, they took kind of that blonde and they did something really, they did their own thing. They've got a bright, crisp, lager yeast is a rather new invention of the time too, and like a very bitter, very blonde, clean fermenting. And it came out of Pilsen, and everyone was like, that is really fucking good.
That's yummy.
That's really good. Now, the legend says they didn't even bother to like trademark or patent or whatever it would have been called in 1500 or whatever. They didn't even bother to do that. So then everybody and their brother started making a Pilsen.
Mm-hmm. So they couldn't.
Well, yeah, like and so the original brewery who produced and I'm not even going to try to butcher the name right now, but the Pilsner Urquell.
Yeah.
Urquell means original. And so like that was added to the original recipe from the original brew. So Pilsner Urquell is like that, you know,
OG.
It's such a fucking great beer.
I like it. I like
I
Pilsner
really do
Urquell.
too. You know, it's not fruity like an English pale ale. Could be blonde. It's, you know, now in the same blonde color range as, you know, a pale ale could be. Just flatly remarkable, cool beer. And they produced a butt ton of it. Everybody copied it and produced a butt ton of it. And, you know, your light lager or your yellow lager was massively produced.
Pilsner.
And Pilsner was
Urquell.
kind of one of the starts there.
Yep. 1842.
Yeah.
They were brewing.
So we're gonna make something. We're gonna make a Pilsner today.
All right.
I think I was thinking of, you know, rather than the original, I'd call it the legend. Where the pill, you know, like
Okay.
we'll find out, you know, something on that. But you know, we were talking about this is probably going to be 100% Pilsner malt.
Right.
I think we should do a German Pilsner, a Weyermann. I've got a floor malted Bohemian. I'm quite interested to throw at this one. That sounds kind of cool. Or their standard premium Pilsner would be.
I think
likable.
that'd be fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wehrmann.
The vitamin is good.
Die Legende.
Yeah,
Legende.
it's terrible. I can't.
Die Legende.
Yeah,
that would be German for the legend.
The legend died.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Die Legende.
Yeah, and probably butchering that one.
Probably. So let's talk about some of the key successes
Yeah.
for brewing the Pilsner.
So European Pilsner malt,
Yeah.
you know, is going to be that thing. I think
Would be the best for you.
80 to 100% would be completely appropriate.
Right. What is going to be like 10% addition? What else are we going to put in there? Carapils?
I would probably go Carapils, just enough body to, you know, I like a little bit of malt back. I want a malt backbone in all my beers. It is an excellent hop delivery system.
Yep.
And if it's, you know, I'm not a big fan of like the brute IPAs. They're a little too light. They're a little too dry. They don't have the depth I want.
Right. They don't have the malt backbone.
Yeah,
right
it's like
there.
beer flavored
'Cause you
seltzer.
can't-
That's
yeah,
not what I want.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
taste the backbone in it.
So yeah, we'll do some
Okay.
crystal malt.
Now,
in there.
how much crystal malt are we going to use? We really don't want to use a 10% in crystal.
No, I don't think so. And so it might just be like we might be at 95% crystal or something.
Right.
I think
I mean, even if you didn't put it in there, it'd be great.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it in there.
You wouldn't put
Because, no.
Carapils at all.
Well, Carapils maybe.
Yeah. But no crystal
No
malt.
crystal.
Yeah.
I don't want the sweetness extra. I don't want the
No.
I don't want the color either.
Right. Even at a 10 loaf above,
Right.
it's, you know.
And you're going to use so little of it, it's really not going to do
Yeah.
anything for you. I
So
don't
for
think.
extract, I think, you know, Pils LME, and a little in the same half pound of Carapils, I think will do.
Right. Do you do a lot of DME? Or is it
DME I use when like I need a little bit more gravity from my extract kits.
Yep, that's what
because
I'll
it's
do.
easier to weigh out. Or
when I make a
do
starter.
partials. Yeah,
When I
yeah.
make a
For starters,
I've never really used
The
all
pr-
DME. I mean, maybe
you can.
long time
The
ago.
price point's a little bit more because in order to get DME, they have to make LME,
And then
liquid
make
malt
DME.
extract. Yeah, out of liquid malt extract.
Yep.
So
That's
you're
a
going to
good
have
process,
a little bit. You know, your sugar amounts. You're paying a little bit higher dollar per sugar unit. They're just as fiddly. I mean, like you open up a bag, a 3 pound, you know, a lot of the people don't like the fact that it takes so long to dissolve all the syrup and get it out of the tub or something. But the trade-off is like dry malt extract. You open that bag, and all the extract sticks to the bag. It's so
sticks to my fingers.
It's so hydroscopic, like it
and
just
sticks to everything.
yeah. So
And
and
then-
then
and
you're
then
dissolving
then
it.
I've got a
and
ball.
floating clumps of it. Yeah.
That's funny.
Either way you go, it's just one of
Okay.
those things you're gonna have to do.
Very good.
So soft water is going to be appropriate for your mash and sparge.
So
and
if we're looking at a hard water on your faucet, we're going to have to adjust it with a little bit of salts.
well, you probably dilute it. If you have hard water in your system, cut it with some distilled water.
There you go.
That'll, up to like 50-50 even, depending if you have really, really hard water. I know my water system is really soft. I have like sub 3 parts per million calcium or something like that. It's ridiculous.
That's coming out of the faucet.
Yep. Yeah, from the Judy Reservoir, and it's not a ton. Anacortes is relatively, it's still soft water out in like Anacortes area, even though they're getting their water out of the Skagit River. But again, river run water systems or reservoir run systems, they are not bubbling up through sedimentary rock like an aquifer or something.
Most of his runoff, most of his glacial runoff,
and rainwater.
Oh right.
So yeah,
man, we get to bathe in glacial runoff.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
It's pretty cool. So I'm not going to fart around. Maybe one of the other flavors that I put, maybe a 1/4 pound of melanoid in. Traditionally, you could have done like a decoction mash with this, and I've done that, not to any degree of success that I'd want to do it again. Like it didn't thrill me. It was a lot more work, a little more faffing about.
And that's where we're taking some of the wort out, and then we heat it up.
Not the wort, you're taking the grain out. And so you need the thickest part of your grist. You're going to scoop out a gallon of that, drain the liquid off of it, put it in a separate kettle, and bring that to the boil while stirring constantly. And this is the part it kind of grates on my nerves, is I have to sit now and babysit this part. Because you're gonna stir that constantly like you would risotto or something, or like a dark roux if you were making something like that. So you don't want it to burn.
This is with the grain in it.
With just the thickest part of your grist, and you're gonna bring that to the boil and add it to your kettle. And this is probably most likely developed as a way to increase your mash temperature incrementally without deactivating your enzymes. But in an era where maybe fine instrumentation to take temperatures might not be super available, but we have a scale, so we can do this by weight,
and to bump up your fire or whatever you're
we can kind of mathematically as a pound of boiling temperatures will raise X amount of degrees per pound of grist, etc. You do the math, and that's kind of your decoction ratios.
So I would take out, what would I do? I'd take out the wort out of the mash tun, I think.
Yeah.
And then heat that, and then put that back in.
Well, if you heat the wort, you're deactivating the enzymes in the wort that you've drawn off, the liquid phase. So all of the enzymes will dissolve in the liquid side of things, and so boiling that deactivates them. So that's not the recommendation. You're doing the grain.
So did I have this wrong the entire time? I'm supposed to not even have any liquid, just the grains?
As much liquid as out of it, drain is possible. Yep.
So
and that's where I fucked up the first time too, and my gravities were horrible.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's why you have to stir it. No, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I just started. I did the
wort.
The wort.
Oh, that makes it easy. Oh gosh, that'd be great. Yeah.
My temperatures came up. I never noticed any loss in my sugars.
My efficiency was garbage, but I was also frustrated as hell, and there were other things going on wrong that day. But
I used to always step mash.
See, I'm lazy. I just do a single infusion.
I used to step mash, and I used to always do a protein rest in the very beginning too. I'm like, and all of a sudden, I'm like, what am I doing this for? These malts are processed,
fully modified. Yeah.
I don't need to do anything.
But that decoction does give us more melanoidins, more of those complex. It's melanoidins are sugar,
color flavors.
Yeah, it's sugar and amino acid combined into an unfermentable new flavor. That's the same flavors that give us toast. Makes toast taste better, steak taste better, your burger tastes better.
Everything
has that GBD bits. So those GBD flavors, you can get those in your your decoction mash, and just from cooking those grains.
I just roasted tomatillos last night, and I've get that
melanoidins.
Same reaction.
That's what it is.
That's what makes it so good.
Makes that friggin' salsa taste better. But I think adding like a 1/4 pound of melanoidin, which has that flavor imparted already, will do the same sort of thing.
Yeah. So it's if we're going to be using some European malts, we're going to want to do a saccharification.
Sac rest,
Saccharification rest.
Right, and so you get into if it's German malt, it's slightly under modified, meaning they didn't develop the enzyme.
So you got to go in a little
lower to coax that stuff along. And this is when I've done I haven't done super rigorous study on it, but I have mashed a Bohemian Pilsner at single infusion.
Lower.
And it's slightly under modified, and it's it's on the packaging. But I didn't see major performance differences that I couldn't, either A, live with, or B, taste.
Yeah. And you want to mash a little bit lower temp so you can get a little bit of that thinner.
Right. And then the carapils is going to be just enough body to round. So we're going to maximizing for sugars. I think this beer I want probably in the I would say 5% range. I would just kind of stick it at 5%. So we'll make revolutions for 5. ABV 5%. I think.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, it's like because I just am going to drink more of them.
Right, middle of the road.
Yeah.
Very good. And that's our target gravity of what?
So that's Pilsner, Carapils.
1050.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll probably be target mash temperature might be so it's gravity. Yeah, 1050 ish. Mash temp mash between 151, 152.
Yeah.
Maybe as high as 153 if you're depending on the grains you use. We'll make that. I'll make those final adjustments when we plug it into a calculator and it spits out does all the math for me.
Right.
Because I don't want to do
You can
math.
make a little bit of adjustments.
Yeah. I don't want to do the math. Hopping. Of course, we got amazing options. I think Hallertauer Mittelfra plays really well in this beer. We're consuming it. Saz is also friggin' a tasty one.
Right. Let's give it a Magnum.
Like a little Magnum for bittering.
For the bittering, yeah.
Nail the bittering with an easy.
So how do you like the 33 IBU in this Bitburger?
I would drink. I'll drink another one for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I would drink more of them if I had more of them. I want a sharp bitterness on it. I want it to get up and say hello, and I think maybe maybe some Hallertauer at the end, just for just a little floral kind of that floral herbal hoppiness.
Yep.
To fill your nose as you're drinking it.
You need that. Go with the yeast.
I think so we'll do some. We'll do that. We'll do some Magnum, and then some Hallertauer late edition.
Oh yeah.
Yeast on this bad boy. There is the Pilsner or the Pilsner yeast would be like what Yeast 2007 is certainly an option for this one, but so is 2124 and 3470. All of those are going to make.
No, what are the differences in these? I can't remember the names.
Well, the Pilsen that's going to be closer to the OG Pilsner,
the OG, okay.
Or Kel strain of yeast. That being said, the 3470 is the world's most popular yeast strain. Being that lagers dominate the global landscape, and so most all beers are lagers, and that yeast is the yeast used predominantly. It's just so good. In fact, TM 3470 is the official name of that strain. Is so good that they pretty much quit doing research on lager yeast for 100 years.
God dang.
It was like, what else would we do with it? It's amazing.
And we're good.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's so good.
Don't reinvent it.
Fuck it. Yeah. I mean,
ain't broken, don't fix it.
1056 is kind of like that in the ale camp, too.
Right.
It's just like, oh, gosh, we can make any kind of beer we want. Like, this thing, it's, clean.
Versatile.
Does, I can make a lot of beers. I can,
Eats through
have
the
malt
sugars.
do fine. I can hops do fine. If I'm not looking for big ester profile.
Right.
Right. It's
Kind of
like, because I'm not going to
neutral.
Belgian. Fuck it.
Right. You can't do Belgian with that, but just our neutral beer, garage pale, or your lawnmower beer. I even use it in my reds. I mean, it's possible.
Yeah.
I think I've probably used the 1056 and a bunch of
1056
probably in
SO5,
places I shouldn't have.
That it's but it is kind of like desert island friendly. Like you would just be able to use.
Right. I've been hit a brew day, and you're like, oh, I didn't get any yeast.
Yeah.
And now I got to go pull some out of the fermenter over here or whatever, and use that.
Yeah. So let's see. Recapping this, we got some Pilsner malt. We got a little bit of Carapils, maybe half a pound in 5 gallons. A quarter pound of Melanoid just for that kind of rich flavor.
Yep.
Magnum and Hallertauer hit a 33 to 35 IBU
I would say,
range.
35.
Yeah. I think
Heck yeah.
35 is great. That's a Maggi number. And then yeast, 2007, 2124, 3470. One of those guys.
Yeah.
We'll take a look at.
Are you going to give them you give the option at that point?
Well, my kits no longer sell with yeast by default.
Okay.
Had to remove them there because yeast pricing just got so volatile the last couple of years. I'm like, well, let's make it easy on everybody. Everybody's got the same problem. Their pocketbook's running thin or something.
Well, that way you're not bumping up the price of your kits, and they're like, "Why is a kit?
Well, yeah. Why am I going to pay
$2 more this week?"
Or
$2 less this week.
It's a 5% beer that costs $50.
Yeah.
That's not an IPA. That's weird. Kind of pricing. So there you go. You'll have some options when this kit is released.
Good.
Moving on. to the Bock, another in the lager camp that is, feels like it is missing in the lineup. Now,
You want some malt backbone?
want a little malt. I want
This is
a little
gonna
like
give it to
something,
you.
yeah, that isn't necessarily the Oktoberfest. I want something a little lighter. One I don't have to sit on for so long. I mean, Oktoberfest, I will lager that one for 5 months if I
5
can.
months?
Yeah. And I'll leave it in the carboy just because it's harder to drink that way.
Right.
I remember Trevor like coming every day. It's like, we're gonna drink that beer today. We're gonna keg that fucking beer today. 'Cause
No, I
was,
drank one.
He was thirsty, is what that was, and we didn't. We just left it till September, and good damn, it is. It's rewarding us. I have a Shiner Bock clone.
Do you?
I'm tempted to release a Bock under like a instead of Shiner Bock, I think we were gonna call it Black Eye Bock.
Black Eye Bock. Nice. A Shiner clone.
Which is a Shiner clone, yeah.
Yeah.
Which would be cool.
We
But
had a
then that
Shiner
makes me
beer
want to
in
do
here.
like a Doppelbock too. The
You need
big,
to do that, yeah.
like the
Celebrator.
celebrator. Yeah, the ATOR suffix. It's got a
Celebrator.
yeah. So here's the thing. So these Bock beers are, it was they built strong versions of them. The Doppelbock became the thing, and it was a monastic brew. In fact, the monks would brew it to get them through the fasting period.
yeah.
Yeah, you're not eating any food, but you're going to drink 9% beer all day. That'll do it. I'm fine. I'm fine with that. I can totally be on board with that.
Brewing beer
the
while
only
they're
thing after I
fasting.
got to do is pray, like not praying to the porcelain gods, but just like praying I don't
pray and
fall
meditate.
over. Praying I don't fall asleep in my food or the food that I'm not eating. Right.
your beer.
Yeah, in my beer. I can get behind that. And the original one was like called the Salvator, or for the Savior,
Salvator.
right? It was a bunch of monks that had a religious angle on there. But over time, when they did finally release it, they started selling it to the public, and they kept the Salvatore name, and other breweries started making similar styles of beer, and they kept the ATOR suffix. So the Celebrator, or the Castigator, or the Instigator. Ooh, Instigator. Oh,
The Instigator.
we might do an Instigator beer. But so a
Who
Doppelbock.
that one instigated the shot.
Yeah.
The Black Eye.
So this style originated, though, like the Bock style was like one of the first ones was Einbach, which was near Vienna. Later, kind of like got popular in Munich as well. But then these monks brewed these stronger versions. Those became the Doppelbocks or Strong Bock.
Double Bock.
And then the U.S. marketplace, we saw this. With German immigration, they brought two kinds of beers. They brought their Bohemian Pilsners and a Bock.
And a Bock.
And that's
Nice.
what was brewed over here. And so the American landscape had, Shiner Bock's just one example, is one lasting example. I think a lot of the old Bock producers pre-Prohibition, all gone. Right? They did not survive that process.
Wow.
But I think pre-Prohibition, you would have seen at least as many Bocks on the menu as blonde or Pilsner kind of style beers. So I think it's kind of they're interesting histories. Interesting beers. I think for the Doppelbock is where I kind of want to go. I mean, like the Black Eyed Bock, I think I'll release that at least as a seasonal. But a Doppelbock, I want. This is going to be gravities of like 1074 to 1080 is where we're going to be.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So that's
you were talking about Shiner, and the Shiner Brewery started in 1909.
it's up there.
Yeah, so long time before Prohibition.
Yeah.
Very good. Made it through.
Survived.
I'm sorry I interrupted.
No, that's fine. So 1074 to 1080, that's going to put us in the that's depending on the
6.5.
system, 12. But that's going to be like 12 to 13 pounds of grain.
Okay.
Base malt.
And that's gonna
or
give us a-
base fermentables.
That'll be about 6.5 or a little more, 7.
1074. Let's see. Do we get a final gravity? Average range. Yeah, that could be 6, 7.
Yeah.
6 or
Sounds good.
7%. Maybe we'll go 8%. who knows? Maybe we might go crazy on that one.
Wow.
Up to 8%.
There we go.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So that would be like in the 14, 15 pound.
That'd be Doppelbock in?
Yeah.
Yep.
And
So
I'll
are we
probably
going to make
do-
a Bock, or are we going to make both of them?
Well, I think I'll do the black-eyed Bock, the Shiner Bock clone, as a seasonal,
Yeah.
and then we'll do the Doppelbock. I think as the because we don't have I don't have too many like the big. I don't have a big lager
big
on
beer,
the menu.
okay.
I don't have a big lager on the menu, so that kind of makes me want to do that. And hell, I might do both. I might just say black-eyed Shiner, the Shiner Bock clone,
Black-eyed
and then
Shiner.
the black-eyed Bock, and a Doppelbock. The what did I just name it? What the fuck? I wrote it down.
Agrivator.
The Instigator.
Oh,
Ooh,
Instigator.
Aggravator. I like that.
The Agrivator.
Yeah, it's an angry beer.
That's right.
So 12 to 13
lot of
or 12 to 15 pounds. I would think, maybe some, maybe splitting like Belgian pills and German pills. Again, we got this monastic tradition, and some of those guys were, crossing borders, as it were. So I don't think it would be. That's a fun. Have you played with Belgian pill? Dingemann's Belgian pills, delicious.
No, I'm not.
Really delicious. And then
So what is this BU-GU ratio? I've not heard that.
So I've got in my notes here. I've got some. These are notes from Ray Daniels, designing great beers. So bitterness units. It's a bitterness unit and gravity unit ratio, and so it's a unique one for Ray Daniels in this book, it's just defining the relationship of how much, like what kind of gravities are we hitting to the bitterness that we're potential, because it's our utilization is a function of our gravity.
Yep.
Right, we get less
Yep.
utilization for. Less hop utilization in higher gravity worts. So this is kind of a way to rationalize that into maybe a usable number. And I say maybe usable because I'm not exactly sure how it's calculated. I rarely use it. I'm usually looking at an IBU kind of range. And this one sounds pretty low, like 0.21. Looking at like our Pilsner was like a 0.75 to 0.80 bitterness unit to gravity ratio. And I know that's about 33 to 35 IBUs. So this one is even lower. So this might only be like 18 IBUs is our target.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And we might have to use twice as much hops to like actually, almost to get there.
Right.
Or, 1.5 times
Yeah.
more. Low hop flavor, no hop aroma. So
None.
that's telling us like no late additions is probably going to be.
Yeah, no late addition. Maybe you're
yep.
going to put a 20-minute addition
Yeah.
as your last hop.
Yeah. 12 to 30 SRM. So that's, that's
fairly
kind of like
red.
dark amber, dark amber ranges. So we can see, I think adding some Munich is going to be appropriate. I think some crystal malt or Cara Munich is probably what I'll go with.
Cara Munich?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's like a 60 Lovabond Cara Munich. And
Yep.
it's going to be, I think that's making me thirsty.
Give you a little bit of residual sugar left over in there.
Might do some melanoid in that one for the same kind of reason. Like I want the malt
You want
richness.
that richness
Yep.
and the feel of it.
Yeah.
You want to feel like you're drinking the malt.
Yeah. So 8% version sounds pretty good. Esters diacetyl, low diacetyl, or low to no. I would prefer none.
No.
I don't. Diacetyl sticks out like a sore thumb in my mouth, and I don't like it.
Yeah, it's very low on this one.
Esters low, so that's telling us like, oh, this better be a clean fermenting yeast. So I think this would be another 21-24. It would be another or 34-70.
Is that a lager yeast or
Lager
is that a
yeast,
Pils?
yeah, lager, or hell, you could do a clean American on this one. I think it would be. I think if you don't have like temperature control, that would be an easy substitute for those yeasts. Get you down the road. Hell,
Right.
even like a Lutra Kvike would be done in 3 days.
Wow.
So
Now, have you ever made anything like a Pils with the Kvike?
I have done. I've done the Lutra as kind of like a mock lager, just like easy Pilsner.
Yeah.
And it was remarkably clean, remarkably clear in 3 days at like 100-degree ferment. I was like this, and it was really good.
Nice.
It didn't have like, I guess some of the depth of character of a Pilsner,
Right. It
was
doesn't have
like
the
it wasn't
aromas
as
and the,
it wasn't as rich as
they
as
don't have
the
the esters in it.
well, not necessarily. It wasn't really like the ester profile. I think it tasted really young. I mean, because goddamn, it was 3 days old.
Tasted really young.
Yeah, so some of that might just be a function of like, well, in every other ferment, it's hanging around for 3 to 6 weeks,
Right.
and then getting packaged till I drink, and
Yep.
hanging out there till I drink it.
Not that way in 3 days.
Right. So I think like we can hasten carbonation at this point. We can hasten the fermentation time, but like for the beer to come around and come into its own and do all those things, like
Takes
there's
time.
no magic button for that.
5
Yeah.
weeks.
But I drank so much of it, I didn't care. Like it was good, and it was fast, and that was cool,
And it was ready.
Yeah, it was good.
I could brew a beer this weekend and drink it next weekend.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Where are we on this then?
toasty, richer, chocolatey, or fairly sweet caramel-like. I'm looking at some notes here from like BJCP.
Okay.
Definitely in a noble hop camp. It's richer, chocolatey. Maybe I'll do some dark Munich. I have like a
You already going with the Cara Munich,
Cara
which
Mu-
is
so
60?
so Cara Munich for some of that sweetness, and a dark Munich
And a dark Munich, yeah.
for richness.
Yep. Help add to the color too.
Yeah, I don't know about chocolatey. If I want to get into, I mean, we got 30 SRM, a little chocolate malt, but now we're talking like an ounce or two to get
Yeah.
for some color. I don't know how much.
Do you want any
Flavor.
of the roast? You don't want any of the roast flavor. You want
No.
the malt flavor.
Yeah.
You want that sweet malt.
Yeah, because I want it to be like rich dark bread.
Yeah.
Kind of profile.
Right.
Yeah.
Could you start adding some?
Right. If it's a fasting beer, like, what would you like? How meal replacement can we like? We're not doing chocolate cake
Right.
for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
But we need a nice sugary malty beer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Something
Done
that's
that
going to
before.
stand up and
Right.
stick to you.
Right.
I think
Satisfy you when you don't have anything else in you.
Yeah, Belgian pills or German pills, Cara Munich, some dark Munich, a little bit of melanoidin, hops. I would probably go
I'm gonna do the
Hallertauer.
a little bit more.
Hallertauer, because we're not going to have any hop aroma. So Hallertauer, maybe even Magnum or
little
Pearl.
Magnum.
It could be Pearl. That's another fun.
Is that a Hallertauer one?
It's a German noble. It's a little higher alpha. So again, we're into like, well, if Hallertauer's coming in at 3.8 right now, now I got to use 3 ounces instead of an ounce or something like that for some beer. Yeah, and I don't want to do that.
I'm getting thirsty.
I am too. Let's fix that. It's fighting with me. You have 2 hands available. You do it. All right, so we're gonna do 8% beer. That's gonna put us in like 14 pounds, maybe 7.5 Belgian pills, 7.5 Munich or German pills. That we might do. Let's do 7s. 7 and 7. That's 14. Pound of Cara Munich, quarter pound of melanoidin, and half pound of that dark Munich, maybe. We'll punch those numbers in and see what we get. And I'll put these, when I get these posted up, I'll put them in the show notes so you guys can see along. And then, of course, you'll get notifications. If you're a subscriber to the newsletter at Northwest Brewers Supply, you'll hear all about it in upcoming when they do release. Let's see. 2 roasts of Munich. Now we're going to look into those key success factors. It's from Designing Great Beers. Designing Great Beers is a resource I use a lot.
Yeah, we've talked about this before.
Yeah, it's a fantastic book. One of they got like the cheat code success, key success factors for the beer, for brewing this style of beer. So Pilsner and 2 malts, Munich, give you European Munich malts can be used up to 90% of the grist. Cool. Specialty grains, including crystal and chocolate, plus other characters if you desire. No more than 10 to 20% of the grist. Let's see. decoction might be traditional for commercial production. Infusion mash will do just fine.
Yep.
155.
Now, this looks like it's a little higher because you want
higher
that
mash
body.
temp. Yeah.
You want that body.
Yeah, this is going to be
155 to 158.
You want some of that richness. So this would be a candidate for like 154, 155 degree mash, which is higher than most, I think.
Right. Usually.
We'll do. I think, the average brewer
48 to 52.
Yeah, 152 is kind of like the butter zone. But I think we'll do a 155 degree mash and see what that does. I haven't done like a higher mash temp beer for a while. So I think it's high time I do something like that. So hop flavor and aroma generally not desired. A quarter to a half ounce in 5-gallon noble type hop may be added about 15 minutes before the end of the boil. That's not a horrible idea. I'm like, I want some bread, but I'm still drinking beer, and I'm not going to be drinking this to be fasting. So I could see a case being made for that.
For fasting?
For a late edition, just for some aroma type, or just remind you you're drinking beer. We'll think about that. Aerate excessively. Yeah.
So sometimes when I'm going to aerate, I maybe put my O2 in there on a stone.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to pour.
If you've got one of those, and it's cool.
Just for extra aeration.
Oxygen is good for your yeast in the first 24 hours.
Yes.
You are gonna have more reproduction, which means you have more healthy cells going in. So even if your yeast is like super fresh, it's still beneficial. Pouring it through a screen is kind of generally where I do my gas bottle. I have the O2 bottle, it's about half full, but the regulator died on it, so I need to get a new one. And I just haven't done that yet. It's been over a year.
Did it fall over?
Yeah, and sometimes just shaking the shit out of it does a pretty good job too. Yeah. I mean, it does okay. It's better than not. just like. So if I've got
sit
a
and shake the
bucket,
carboy.
or the bucket. If I'm doing it in a bucket, I'll take the airlock off and just have the hole for the airlock grommet. I'll have that towards the tops, and I'll just sit there and swirl it around. And it's kind of, once you get the bucket up on the edge and you get the liquid moving around and sloshing around in a circle, it's less work just to maintain that kind of like circular swirling. So you're just like, it's a small movement. You can turn on your favorite beer podcast with Ben and Andrew and just like let's catch an extra 5 minutes.
Give it a little whirlpool down in because it's drawing that air down.
Yeah,
into the
and it's splashing around, and oxygen is going to be taken in through the surface area. A friend of mine, Ben, I can't remember his name. He moved to Texas, but he built a Venturi that he would pour his wort through, and that Venturi would spin the beer up, and it was a mechanical agitation, but no moving parts. So it was just the design of this kind of cone that it swirled through, and that would maximize the intake of oxygen from ambient. Right. So he had Ben was wicked smart. Like he was an engineer for the refineries out here, and a lot of engineers in beerland. It appeals to a couple of nerds and tinkerers and thought provokers in the engineering landscapes as well.
I've designed some stuff at work before.
So he had a little white paper on it too. I thought it was like really fucking cool. Sad he moved away, but that's what he used, and I thought that was pretty novel. So he would just pour through that sort of thing, and down the road he went. And I was like, I've heard of people doing like oxygen, like the air pump, like aquarium pump, and you can put like a HEPA filter in line because it's drawing ambient air and then forcing it through a hose.
I'm always afraid of contamination.
Right, and so like a HEPA filter, and then I look at these HEPA filters and they're like, oh, that's really thin material. So I've got a HEPA filter in the office for dust, and it's a MERS 13, which will trap airborne pathogens, and they'll get stuck in the weave. But it's the pleat on that filter is 4 inches thick.
Golly,
it's a lot of surface area to go through. So, like this little HEPA filter, it's better than nothing. It's clearly better than nothing.
Right.
But yeah,
I like to use O2.
I do too.
Yeah.
I've used those little like disposable welding cans.
Right.
They're not my favorite.
They're
They're
expensive.
spendy.
Golly.
And the regulator, it really is more. It's not really a regulator. It's more of an on
and off.
and off.
Yeah.
And so you get like maybe 1.5 batches out of a can of air because like as soon as you see the bubbles, you're fucking halfway out of gas. And if it's if you want to bubble for 3 sec or for 13 seconds or something, like you're at a fucking O2.
Done. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
There's not
that's
much in there.
That's just extra cost. Yeah.
It's just $14 for a can,
Get
like
over
an
to the
ounce
welding
of
supply
fucking,
store.
yeah. The CO or a 5-pound tank of gas will set you about 100, like a new tank plus fills, like under $150. Regulators are going to be in the $80 to $150 range, but goddamn, that thing's going to last forever.
Right.
Like you will probably
have it over
only
and
run
over.
out of oxygen once.
Maybe
you
twice.
just fill it up again and you're
Depends
fine.
on if you left
Yeah.
it there open and forgot it when you walked away.
Oh yeah, that happens.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
Well, I think that's going to be. I think we're hitting our hour.
There we go.
We've done 2 beers, which is kind of cool. I think we'll come back next week and we'll do a couple of more.
Let's do it.
I think I had a lot of fun doing
sure
that.
there's a lot more
Hope
to
you
talk
guys
about
do.
on this.
Oh yeah, we got more beers. We got ambers, oatmeal stouts. We can tinker around with. We might even do a cold IPA on that list. So
might be
stick
fun.
around next week.
A
We'll
zero IBU cold IPA.
something. Well, I don't know about zero IPA.
We should try the zero IPU.
What?
I mean zero IPA.
the zero IBU
Zero
IPA.
IPA. Yeah.
That's not an IPA.
Remember we talked about that.
It's still not an IPA.
Well, somehow it was.
I don't care what they say. They're fucking wrong.
We should try it.
They're wrong. They're
Why
brewing
not?
over with wrong ability. All right. Well, that's
All right.
It's been another great episode. Thank you all for
Thanks,
joining us.
everyone.
Appreciate you.
We love you all.
We'll talk at you soon.
All right. Bye.